Hi guys! My name is Jen. I'm a freelance communication consultant and digital nomad. Being a digital nomad means that I work from anywhere in the world as long as I have access to a computer and the internet. Because I'm so passionate about communication and I've been on so many video meetings, I want to share with you guys today some tips on how to make a good impression while in meetings on video. Making a good impression on video is just as important as making a good impression in person. If you think about it, these days, so many things are conducted via video conferencing. For example, interviews, sales calls, meetings with your boss. No matter the situation, how you are perceived in an online meeting actually matters. All right, are you guys ready? Here are my tips. My first tip is make sure you don't look like you just rolled out of bed. You want to look fresh and wear something decent on top that doesn't look like pajamas. If you wear pajamas on the bottom or no pants at all, sure, you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't show up on camera. The next tip is to make sure that you choose a quiet place for your meeting without distractions. That way you can concentrate on speaking to the people that you need to speak to, and other people on the meeting can concentrate as well. Even if you turn your camera off, be aware of what we can hear. I have heard in meetings before, dogs barking in the background, and one time on a meeting with about 10 people, there was a toilet flushing. We never figured out who it was, but yeah, that's not a good look or sound for a meeting. And on the topic of sound, use the mute button as needed. If you're gonna cough, if you're gonna sneeze, if there is gonna be a fire truck passing by, an ambulance, use the mute button. In general, I would advise if you're on a video conference meeting with a lot of people, just by default, hit the mute button. But remember to unmute when you wanna speak. Another tip is if you can, choose a place that is bright and neutral. Here in this hotel room, I have a lot of natural light coming through the window, and I'm not a dark and creepy person. You're not going to want to look like this on camera. You also want to make sure that your background is clean, neutral, and tidy. Nobody needs to see your dirty laundry or beer poster in the background. You want to make sure that the focus is on you. Another important tip to make sure that you're engaging on your video conference is to make eye contact. Think about it, if you were in an in-person meeting, you would also be looking at the person that you're talking to. Eye contact is known to build trust. It makes you appear more friendly, likable, and empathetic as well. People who make eye contact, even on video, appear much more trustworthy. For example, look at the difference between these scenarios. Yes, I can definitely send you that report by next week. Eye contact. Yes, I can definitely send you that report by next week. No eye contact. Here's a pro tip for making eye contact when in a video conference. I know a lot of people like to look at themselves, the mini thingy of themselves while on video conference, but on a video conference, to make sure that the person who you're speaking to feels like they're being spoken to, look at the camera on the computer or phone. Another tip is to act natural. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it's natural to be looking into a camera when you're having a meeting with somebody, but really try to look natural where possible. Smile where you can, use your hand motions when you can. Especially in a meeting where your presence really matters, for example, an interview online, it really matters that you have your energy up and your personality shows. So if you have to exaggerate a little bit or do whatever you have to do to prep yourself and get amped up, do that before your meeting. Another way to make a good impression while in a video conference is to be respectful of people's time. For whatever reason, virtual meetings tend to run overtime. Maybe because it feels more casual when it's not in person. So keep an eye on the clock And if you're running out of time and there's 5 minutes left, for example, you can say things like, hey, there's only 5 minutes left of our meeting. I want to make sure that I answer all your questions. So what questions do you have for me? Or you can use those remaining minutes to confirm what the next actions are coming out of that meeting. And lastly, remember to thank people. You don't have the luxury of shaking anybody's hand in a virtual meeting, but you can provide some eye contact and share some words of thanks. On that note of gratitude, I want to thank you guys for watching. That's all the tips that I have for right now, but please be sure to let me know if you have any questions or if you have any communication topics that you want me to cover in the future. If you learned something from this video and want to see more on communication, life advice, or travel, then please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. See you next time. Bye.